Welcome back to another workout vlog. This is workout vlog number 7. This is the last week of the night for week 4 of 12, working out our hamstrings. So, kind of want to talk about the feeling of being defeated, because tonight in the gym, man, I felt defeated. This whole week I felt a little tired and a little exhausted and worn out, and kind of felt a little beat up, and I gave it my all. I worked out as hard as I could. I didn't sandbag it, got all my cardio in, ate all my food. I did everything exactly how I was supposed to do it according to the plan, but it just didn't feel like I did enough this week. And my results, I am down a little bit. I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video, but I did make some results this week. Don't get me wrong. So I have made progress, and I know every time I go to the gym and I do my cardio and I eat my food, I am getting better. But it's just, man, every now and then it gets to the point where it just feels like you're spinning your wheels and you're not going anywhere at all. And that's how I felt tonight.
Yeah, but I guess we were talking about it earlier. You've been at this for a good little while now, so having those feelings, I would think, is fairly common. But you are still making progress. It's just you've hit a point where I guess your progress is becoming more finite and things like that. Whereas mine, I just started again, so I'm still getting a decent amount of progress out of what I'm seeing, but I'm sure I'll hit that same point. And just whenever I get to that area, be a little bit more difficult on me as well. I'm almost positive it's going to be more difficult on me, but I think you're still progressing though, and you're still making strides, and you being in there and keeping at it even when you have these more down weeks or kind of bad weeks on how you're feeling in the gym about where you're at. It shows a lot that you're still pushing and everything and not just giving up.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because there's two different things that you could do when you feel defeated, or you feel like you're like a clock, right? You're always moving, but you're never going anywhere. And that's either give up or just push harder. And it always motivates me to push harder, because I don't look at it like, God, it's taken so long and how much longer is it going to be? No, it puts a fire in me like, okay, well, I didn't get as far as I wanted to. So let me find out why I didn't get further than what I wanted. And let me push myself to go further than what I did this week and go harder and get closer to my results, because I don't compare myself to other people. And I mean, don't get me wrong, take it for what it's worth. I don't compare myself to normal people. They're just normal gym goers or your average people. I compare myself to the people that I want to compete against. So if I'm going to compete in bodybuilding, I'm looking at my potential competition and where they're at and how they look and their results, not their results in the gym day to day, but what they look like when they're on stage. And to me, I'm still nowhere near that level of where I need to be, because I need to get lean enough to even get ready to start to get into shape to compete. I mean, because the truth be told, I've made a lot of progress, but I still have a lot of progress to go before I'm even close to even being ready to compete. And I just want to close that gap. And this isn't an overnight process. It takes a very long time to achieve these results. And I think there's two different ways you can look at it. You can look at it like, man, look at this guy and look at how well he's doing, and look at his body and look at how amazing he or she looks, and respect it and appreciate the hard work and effort that went into achieving that. Or you could look at it and be jealous, like how come they got it, or how come they obtained it, or how come they were able to achieve it and I haven't got there yet. And the end of the day, it's because they have put more time into it than you, and they have put more effort into it. Now, granted, they might be genetically gifted and they might have been lean, or they might have already had a leg up because they're genetics. But at the end of the day, to be 100% truthful, it's they stuck to their diet longer. They did their training longer, and they've been at it more committed than you have for a longer amount of time. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. It just means that you haven't spent enough time in there doing that particular thing. And that's where I'm at right now. And I just felt defeated this week,
Yeah, and I'm coming up on 1 month in to the progress that I've made, but I'm still at a point where I'm curious to see what 2 months and 3 months is going to bring me, because where I started at, I was doing nothing. So for me, it's still, like I said, I'm still in the newness of this and things like that, for getting back into it. And even a year from now, I'm curious to see where I'll be at, the progress that I've made and the differences and changes. And I'm sure though, before I get to that 1 year point, I'm gonna have those moments where it's just like in the gym, just feeling like, like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
is this going anywhere? Kind of thing.
Yep, I know what you mean. I completely like in like that's where I'm at right now. And let me just clarify: I'm not at the point where I'm looking at other people in jealousy. Like, how come they're there and I'm not? What I mean was like that's the point that I'm at. Is what I mean is like I'm at that point where I know that I just need more time, and like I I look up to the people that have been doing this long enough to have the results that I'm looking for, and those people let me know that it is possible and it is obtainable. I just have to be committed to give it enough time to get there. You know, I know it's not impossible. It feels impossible sometimes because how long it takes, and it's a very long road to be completely transparent here. Back on May 8th when I started this, I was like kidding myself, right? I was 263 pounds, 261, 265 floating around there. And I was just like, oh, by September, I'll have abs. Middle of September, I'll have at least my top four 100% visible showing. Mid-September, guaranteed, I got this. Well, September's here, and I'm still not even close to being at that point. I probably have another 3 months before I even get to the point where my abs are actually starting to be developed enough to start showing through my belly fat, or at least having enough belly fat gone. So like it takes a very long process. And at the end of October, it'll be 6 months that I started. At the end of this 12 weeks, it'll be 6 months since I started the journey to get my abs visible. And even that, I don't think is enough time. So it might actually take me 9 months to achieve my goal. And I said, I'm giving myself to the end of the year to have my abs 100% visible. But in my mind, I'm like, it's not going to take that long. Realistically and logically, I knew I probably need until January to get my abs visible. But in the back of my mind, my hope, right? That spark of hope, like, no, you won't need that long. You have something in you. You're better than that. But I mean, and that's where understanding how body fat percentage comes into play, right? Because if you know what your body fat percentage, then like knowing around like 9 to 12% is where your abs become visible. And I've never taken my body fat percentage. So understanding where your body fat is lets you know how much fat you need to lose to get to a certain body fat percentage to be at that image that you want to be. And I just don't have a caliper. I probably should get one because I'm curious to see what I actually how much my body fat actually is right now.
Yeah, I think that would be beneficial for you. Just to, like we were talking in the gym earlier, just to have you give you that idea of exactly what changes you need to kind of focus on with like diet and different, like in your training, and how to maximize both of them to your best benefit. So I think something like that would help. Because like the best I've ever got was the little health checks that we have to do for work, or the fancy scales telling me just random numbers because it gives me a weight sort of thing. So
yeah, I step on my scale and it's like, yep, still fat, you know? So it's just kind of like, oh, thank you, appreciate it.
But yeah, so like just having something that gives you an actual legit number to go off of, so you can kind of focus in and dial in more specifically to your needs. I think that would be a lot of help for you, like to get to like your abs, and even after that, like to get to like the bulking phases and stuff that you're wanting to do after you get to the abs, to keep that lean muscle and everything. I think that's going to be real beneficial for you.
Yeah, and the thing too, even if like it's not 100% accurate, like people are like, oh, those things aren't accurate, those body fat calibers, they're not accurate. It was like, okay, but it gives you an idea, right? It's a range. So it's like, oh, you're between like 7 and 10%, or 8 and 10% body fat. So it gives you an idea of how much you need to lose. Like it gives you like a number, right? So instead of like shooting, like, I think I need to lose 2 pounds a week or 1 pound a week or 1.5, you can have a more direct number that you're trying to shoot after. So you can have a more like, okay, so I need to lose X amount of pounds by this amount of time. So that means I have to lose this much weight per week over this time to be able to hit that percentage of fat. And you might come in early, or it might take you a week or two longer to hit there, but you have an idea of how long or how much you need to do for how long, you know. And right now I'm just throwing darts in the dark, hoping to hit something and stuff. So, but I think that's going to be it for me on this video. Is there anything else you wanted to add to it?
No, sounds good for tonight.
All right. Well, I always like to add a little positive note on the end of these videos. Guys, I say it all the time. There's a lot of negative people out there, and there's the people that are going to come at you with their negativity. Don't listen to them. Let them be negative in their own world, and don't invite that into your life. Ignore those people that are only looking to bring you down just because they're bitter with something that's going on in their life. And just remember, everyone that comes at you for whatever reason that they're in a bad mood, chances are that they have something going on in their life that they're unhappy about, and they don't want to see happiness in others. So just ignore it. Don't take it personal. Keep smiling, keep grinding, keep lifting, keep eating, keep doing everything you got to do to keep doing what you got to do to get your results, because we're all in this together. And instead of being negative towards one another, let's be a little bit positive and let's help each other out and stay focused on what the main goal is here. And remember, no matter what, at the end of the day, when you're in the gym, if there is no agony, there will be no bragging. But that's it for me. Until next time.
Yep. Catch you later.